Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is To Back or Not To Back, where we're going to go through a variety of crowdfunding campaigns, talking about the campaigns, the games, the pledge levels, the stretch goals, all of that and more, and of course, should you back it. Although when it comes to should you back it, the last time I did this show, I was like, I'm busy this week, we're not going to focus on the whole value aspect as much, we'll just talk about the games. And then we'll be back next week with all the should you back it stuff. Between then and now, we have these 54% tariff situation going on. If you don't know, feel free to check out my week in review or my last week weekly live on Thursday to get a little caught up on the tariff situation, if you're not already. But it does mean that at least for the next little bit, I don't know for how long, but I'm not going to focus on the value aspect of backing games right now for the next who knows how long. I don't know if it'll be a few months, I don't know if it'll be a few weeks, I just don't know right now. This kind of briefly happened during COVID. Way back when, during COVID, there was a point where the future was so uncertain, it was very hard to give recommendations as far as should you back it, should you not, how will things play out, and we're kind of there now as well. Any campaign you back might come with a request for more money down the road. Any campaign you back might be the best possible price as MSRPs are raised later and the creator might not ask you for more money. So we're kind of in a little bit of a wild card land, for better or for worse. Some of the things you back might be the best deal ever if you get it at the price they guarantee and things raise up, and others will just cost you an arm and a leg, and or companies might even go under. Which means for the next while, I'm not going to focus on that specific aspect. We'll still cover the games, the campaigns, I may mention things value adjacent when relevant, but I won't be going as much into that value aspect, at least for right now. I'll also be having this kind of mini update at the beginning of the next few weeks to get people caught up in case they missed this episode but watch the next ones. You can go ahead and skip through it every single time. I'll also say lastly, before we go into the campaigns, that both things are true when it comes to backing things during this time. The first is that as far as trying to be cautious with your money, if you want to be more conservative, if you don't want to pay higher bills, if you don't want to risk companies that struggle and don't deliver, if you don't want that higher level of risk that comes with the current space, then the safest thing to do is to back fewer games. Always be mindful that anything you spend, anything you back, can be something that you don't get or have angst or issues along the road. You have all these possibilities, and so the safest thing to do is to just not back, save your money, buy at retail, things like that. At the same time, if you do want to back, keep in mind this is a time that creators more so than ever appreciate your support as they walk into this, and crowdfunding often offers them the highest degree of return on what they're making because it doesn't have to go through distribution and retail. It's the most money going into the creator's pocket and helping them actually justify their creation and the time and costs spent making it. So both things are true. Back with grace and also back with mindfulness around your own money. Make whatever decisions you seem right, just walk in fully informed. With that, let's go ahead and go through all the crowdfunding campaigns. We're still going to talk about everything else. It's still going to be almost as exciting as usual. It's just a bit of a crazy time right now, and we do have a lot of fun campaigns this week to dive into. But before we do, let's start off first and foremost, as we usually do, with our Cult of the Now. As much as we are about to go through a variety of crowdfunding campaigns that will all offer you tantalizing pledges of who knows how much for miniature games and roguelites and Euro games, we have a whole host of a wide variety of excellent games today, but we also have Unstoppable. Currently available over our miniature market for $48. If you missed the crowdfunding campaign for this game from John D. Clare, part of the Simply Solo line, no, not the Solo Hero series. Simply Solo is Spalopolis. Simply Solo is Button Shy, and the Solo Hero line is Renegade, but designed by John D. Clare, giving you a card crafting game of, well, crafting cards and going through a roguelite experience in Unstoppable. Check it out. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. I like it. And I definitely recommend you try it if you like that genre of games. But with that, we're going to move into the board game, starting off with the board game adjacent category. We have Dungeons & Lasers 7 Porthaven from Arkan Studios. Raised $1.3 million so far. They continue to knock it out of the park with their giant miniature everything over here. And this one has a giant miniature pirate ship. I believe the biggest miniature pirate ship you can get your hands on. They also have an excellent video, whether or not you watch it, whether or not you're going to get this, watch this video of we just made the fastest orc vehicle in Warhammer 40k. It's just funny to watch. You just want to see them remote control this pirate ship around while also painting it and giving you a sense of what you're getting. Definitely check out that video. But past that, there's a whole bunch of options. There's a ton of miniatures, there's a ton of terrain, there's 4 different core sets to get your hands on: Tavern, Bazaar, Port, and Ship Crew, all giving you different configurations, and also giving you configurations, of course, to get the pirate ship. But not just the pirate ship. There's the pirate ship, there's the pre-painted pirate ship, and then there's the ghost pirate ship. There's any of those options. You can get them all. You can get pre-painted, paint regular, and ghost ship if you want. There's a lot of opportunities over here for what it is you're going to get from, again, from just this general pirate swashbuckling terrain system. As usual, I'm not going to be going through every single thing in this campaign. There's a lot, but also as usual, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Lasers, you already are probably interested in this already, or alternatively, well, I shouldn't say familiar. If you can be familiar with it and not backing it. If you are a fan of Dungeons and Lasers and back their previous campaigns, this is more of the same but with newer stuff. And if you haven't, then you probably aren't backing this one anyway, because if you avoided them until now, like what, the pirate ship's gonna pull you in? Maybe for some of you it will. But with that, we're going to start off with the campaigns. We have G.I. Joe Operation Cobra, 2,000 backers, $629,000 raised, 1 day left to go, and they actually, so fun fact, in this random side tangent on this one, they actually are sending me this game to do some playthrough content around it. The only problem is they just reached out recently, which means it's probably going to be content that you can go ahead and watch before you late pledge or things like that. It's not going to be up before the campaign goes up because the game hasn't even arrived yet. But G.I. Joe, but in case you were waiting for some playthrough coverage or things like that, you will be able to see it on the channel at some point, so regular reminder to subscribe and all those fun things. But past that, G.I. Joe Operation Cobra from OC Games, first time created. This is giving you a cooperative, tactical, basically a dungeon crawler. It's a dungeon crawler with single shot, with campaign, and then a variety of other modes as well to dive into as you take control of the various characters in the G.I. Joe universe. Fun fact, today while researching campaigns, I decided to throw up Snake Eyes in the background because I never actually watched the newest Snake Eyes movie, and I was like, I'll give that a shot, because why not? It seems thematic. We're talking about G.I. Joe today. Let's watch a G.I. Joe movie in the background. I got like 50 minutes in and then just didn't care. I just didn't care. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but I was like, I could do this, or I could continue watching Shogun in the background instead, and Shogun is so much better. I never actually finished Shogun, so I'm actually finishing Shogun now. I think I have 1 episode left to go. Much better use of time than G.I. Joe, at least as far as the movie goes. Anyways, back to board games over here. G.I. Joe Operation Cobra. They have the core box, they have expansions, they have like 4 different expansions. There's a lot of content to go ahead and get your hands on, giving you characters from the G.I. Joe universe in a miniature tactical skirmish / dungeon crawler game with single shot and campaign modes. There's a bunch of things over here. There's the core box, the stretch goal box, and then 5 or 6 different expansions over here, some of which are going to be GameFound exclusive, which means you will not be able to get them at retail unless you get this campaign, or of course buy it from someone else on the secondhand market, or unless of course they have future crowdfunding campaigns. That's another opportunity as well. The pledge levels for this game are going to be $380 for the absolute all-in. We have $255 for a curated list of various expansions and the stretch goals and the base box, and then we have the base box alone for $125 as the entry point to the system if you want to jump into that at the cheapest price point possible, although of course shipping as usual is also going to be a factor, so you want to jump in at that $28, $40, or $50 shipping, factor that into the price point of what you're getting. That's basically it. That's G.I. Joe Operation Cobra. It's a dungeon crawler. It's a dungeon crawler game. It's that kind of genre. You have your miniatures, you have your scenarios, you have your missions. I always find when it comes to these kinds of games, so honestly, whenever there's certain genres, like, a heavy Euro or a dungeon crawler, very often I have to try to figure out what is the thing that differentiates this from others in that genre, or is it just, maybe it's a theme, maybe it's a collection of mechanics that are streamlined. But it's a dungeon crawler. If you like this kind of game, if you like this theme, it's probably an easy sell, but if you like one or the other, then you might want to do a bit more research and figure out if this is the one that's going to be for you. Moving on, we have Rise of Myth Cthulhu from Synergia Games. €385,000 raised, 2,738 backers, 1 day left to go. Oh my gosh, did I do that in the wrong order? No, they both have 1 day. Both have 1 day left to go, so you're kind of running out of time on both these campaigns. That's because I didn't do 2 back and not to back last week, so I'm a little behind in these. But Rise of Myth Cthulhu is a cooperative roguelike deck building game in which you're going to be using your characters, building your deck as you go through it, and then trying to take on the Elder One, or depending on whichever Elder One you're hunting down in the game. Along the way, you will power up in the game, which is essential because you will lose your first fights against those Elder Gods until you power up, meaning as you go through scenarios, you'll collect things, and you'll have that roguelite element where you walk into the next game starting off more powerful until you eventually get to a point where you actually can take down and defeat the big bads of this Cthulhu universe. There's a whole lot of content for this game. They unlock 211 cards in the various stretch goals, lots of stretch goal content, although that number does seem a lot bigger than it should be because there's like 400 cards in the core game, there's like 300 cards in the expansion, and then 200 cards being unlocked in the various stretch goals, which bundle up to expansions as well. So as much as that is a lot of extra content, also just getting the core game alone is going to give you a lot of extra content. This is going to be, like I said already, a roguelike deck building experience with Cthulhu. I should note, in case you missed it, there is AI art on this project. They used AI art as part of their process. You can read that on the FAQ. Just want to make sure you're fully informed about that in case that is a deal breaker for you. But outside of that, we have the rewards over here. €189 for the Cthulhu pledge. That's going to be the all-in of a ton of things that you probably don't need. That's going to be giving you the metal coins, the neoprene mats, the premium sleeves, the Arkham Duels, which is a standalone game over here, Cthulhu socks, which honestly I guess you do need those, and the Miskatonic files. So you have all these things which are not gameplay content. Well, I guess Arkham Duels is inherently gameplay content. But that's going to be €189. The core pledge over here, Investigator pledge for €49, is going to give you the base game as well as the expansions over here. So you can get the expansion that came through, the stretch goal expansion, I should say. And then over here we have the Arkham pledge. This is going to be the gameplay content of the Echoes of the Darkness expansion, the Nightmare expansion, and the Rise of Mythos Cthulhu in the core box deluxe. So you're not just getting more gameplay content, you're getting the deluxe box as well. This is probably where you want to be if you're trying to focus on the most gameplay bang for your buck, coming in at €89 for it. And this is where you want to be if you want to get absolutely everything. Keep in mind, you could get individual things like those socks. You do need those socks. You could get individual things over here as part of the optional buys over here. So we have the Miskatonic files for $20. We have the Neoprene playmats for $39. We have metal coins for $25. Cthulhu socks for $12. A bargain at twice the price. Cthulhu socks, please. We have Arkham Duels for €12, and premium sleeves for €40. In general, I recommend Sleeve Kings as my personal brand of choice. I am not sponsored by them. I just use them and will save you a lot of money on other premium sleeves. Outside of that, you can go through here seeing examples of the various stretch goals. They all bundle together to give you those various expansions, but there's cards and old ones and more cards and dials and all these various things, just enhancing your gameplay with both more content as well as some small degree of deluxification in it. Shipping is going to run you over here. If we scroll down to shipping, shipping is going to run you in the US for €16 or 20 or 24, depending on the pledge level you get over here, which brings your total for like the gameplay all in is looking at a little over $110 or so, €110 or so for that, which is, you know, giving you a decent amount of content. But honestly, Synergy Games have done repeat crowdfunding campaigns in the past. So if you are on the fence, you could do a few things. You could get the core pledge on its own, the very base core pledge, nothing else, and then just upgrade stuff down the road. Or alternatively, you could even just wait and see. There is some content out on this game, but honestly, even though like there was a review on this channel, the prototype doesn't have the full experience. So my review is like, I enjoy what I have, but it doesn't have anywhere close to the actual experience that you're getting here. It's a sample, a taster, as it will. And so if you are interested in just waiting for more reviews, you can always just wait around and see. I assume this will be back for another future crowdfunding campaign in the future at some point, because honestly, I think it's a good game, and they have brought games back. It just makes sense to do so once it gets out in the wild and gets more coverage and more word of mouth and reviews and all of those things. So if you just want to play it safe, just go ahead and wait entirely. From there, we have Adventurous, a pocket-sized game of discovery, 1,600 backers, $30,000 raised, 5 days to go. Adventurous is the newest button-shy game. The people who do the Simply Solo line. The solo here is solo. I was trying to be clever and do a callback, and then I forgot and messed up again, so that is what it is. Adventurous is a solo experience. You can check out a gameplay and first thoughts and all that, and gameplay and review video that I did on the channel, as well as other content from any number of creators. But this is basically a solo or multiplayer game in which you're going to be charting a path from your initial ship over here, laying down these cards on these destination points, and that's going to give you the opportunity to create these little symbols on the board, where you'll then take these marvels, placing them onto the matching symbols in order to score points, because you kind of have to go through the marvels in order to get as many points as possible. But you're also playing a game of, well, everything else as you create this path, chart this path, and try to have various adventures, but not too many adventures. You don't want to have you don't want to have too many encounters that are going to hurt you in the game. The game is going to come with the basic game, which is going to be, the 18-card card game. And we also have the expansion, the typical expansion they do on their crowdfunding campaigns, of a new ship card over here with new journey effects, as well as 5 new map cards, giving you more marvels and more map cards to your experience over here. The pledge levels are going to be coming in at the print and play for $3, the Adventurous for $12, and the international backers $12, and then they have other content over here. So for example, they have the Intro to Button Shy multiplayer for $30 over here, which again, I think Adventurous is more of a solo game to me personally, but hey, you do you, enjoy yourself. I honestly, Sprawlopolis as well is kind of a solo game to me, so you do you and enjoy yourself. And then we have an Intro to Button Shy solo over here for $30. Wait, what's the difference? Just the swapping between Skulls of Sedlic and Rove? Is that, that feels like the multiplayer solo line there. Either way, honestly, all these games are great games. Sprawlopolis and Skulls of Sedlic are 2 of my favorite, and Rove is also pretty much up there as far as great games go. So these are all great ways to jump into the line in case you don't want to just get the base pledge of Adventurous and call it a day. Moving on from there, we have the Keyside. Keyside, coming to you from Richard Brees over here. This is part of the continuation of the Key series. He has Key Flower, Key Market, Key Flow, Keyside, so many different Key games, many of which you can get your hands on in this campaign. Many others have already sold out in this campaign. We have $89,000 raised, 864 backers, 7 days to go. Keyside is the newest standalone game coming to you from Richard Brees, as well as David Tershi, working together with him on that, coming to you from R&D Games. And we have the base Keyside Kickstarter edition for $71. That's going to give you a Kickstarter edition. There's also an Essen delivery option as well, and then of course shipping is going to be something you want to consider too. The Kickstarter edition does come with some extras, like this Kickstarter exclusive over here, the exclusive resources tray, which can be placed on the board, as well as the character sailors and meeples, things like that. So there are some extras over here, but also it does feel a little pricey relative to other games, including other games in this campaign. We'll come, I guess, let's do the game overview. Across, I believe, 3 rounds of play, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to be rolling dice and assigning your workers to the central islands, take abilities. Players have the ability to place as well as to follow, depending on the dice you utilize. You're going to be then collecting them, and then as you build up your own personal tableau as well as you go through it. So it's basically a Euro game with dice placement and following actions across a few rounds of play. Outside of that, and there's a whole play rate, bringing you there's a whole in-turn detail if you want to see that breakdown. Outside of that, though, there's a lot of content you can get in this game, not just the core game. Prices for shipping over here, you'll see US is 15 pounds for, to get something in the US, but then you also have the opportunity to get a lot of their other games with no additional shipping cost added. That's going to be Key Flower the Farmers, Key Flow, Kingdom's Dragons, Keeper, and the Glade. All of these as well as available, as well as the Key Meliquin mini expansion for Key Flower, and these are all great price. Well, I shouldn't say all, because not all games are created equal, but like on things like Key Flower over here, 30 pounds to get your hands on Key Flower. It's a great game, really recommend it. I should do a review on it at some point, but I haven't yet, but I will at some point, probably, maybe. But it's a great game, really holds its own. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's one of those games I want to see deluxified too, but that's a different story for a different day. And then we have all these limited add-ons over here that unfortunately were all sold out in the first 30 minutes of the campaign, so you can look at them in envy and scroll past peacefully, wondering why you weren't backing this game right away. But that's just because you were busy doing responsible things, so kudos to you. That's basically Keyside. A new game in the Key series, opportunities to get older games, and with that we're going to move to our next one, 6 Sojourns. Is it Sojourns? Sojourns? I never say that word out loud. Who says that word out loud? Coming to you from Red Raven Games, this is basically the newer, better might be a stretch, I haven't played the game, but newer and probably better version of 8-Minute Empire. Coming to you from Ryan Lockett from Red Raven Games, $195,000 raised, 1,600 backers. This is bringing you the deluxe edition of 6 Sojourns. I feel like it's a blended J, like Sojourns. I don't know. 6 Sojourns over here, coming to you from Ryan Lockett from Referral Games, is going to be giving you a newer version of 8-Minute Empire. If you've played 8-Minute Empire, it's a very fast game that does not actually take 8 minutes to play, but it does claim that it takes 8 minutes to play, at least it's in the title. I generally find that it's usually in the 15 to 25 minute range, but hey, 8 minutes it's only like 15 minutes off. Like if a game said 2 hours and it was 2.5 hours, you wouldn't complain that much, right? So if a game's 8 minutes and then it becomes 25 minutes, that's like a smaller margin of error, right? Maybe? Anyways, 8-Minute Empire. 8-Minute Empire is a quick area control game of gathering various top cards and trying to place things down as you get a few abilities. It's very fast. It's been a while since I played it, but you're drafting a handful of cards over the course of the game while trying to spread out your influence in it's like a kind of like engine building and tableau building and area control, all in a very fast-paced game that is really, really solid considering how small of a box it is and how much you're getting done out of that box. Came with a lot of expansions, a lot of versions of it, but yeah, it's been a while since I played it, but I definitely did enjoy it way back in the day. This one seems to be leaning into the same general idea, a larger box, but trying to give you that fast-paced experience. There are only 9 cards you'll be playing across the course of the game, all those trying to be mindful as far as how you build out and what you're trying to do, and the different maps giving you different challenges, as well as different scenarios, like, different things that will give you different flavors to the experience you're having. But you have 126 cards, which is a whole different experience to me. This kind of feels like they're combining the principle of 8-Minute Empire with the card combo fantastic goodness of... What was the game? Oh my gosh, why can't I remember? The game that I really like from them that I'm having trouble remembering is, Creature Caravans. It feels like it's combining 8-Minute Empire with Creature Caravans, and I don't know the result because I haven't played this one, but I certainly am interested in it because I really like Creature Caravans, and I liked a lot 8-Minute Empire, and something that combines the variety of Creature Caravans with the experience of 8-Minute Empire definitely has me very interested in the game. Outside of that, fantastic art. The deluxe edition over here is going to be giving you 4 extra maps, so you basically have one double-sided map in the basic version of the game, and then you have the deluxe edition giving you 4 extra double-sided maps, as well as extra extra content. And they do break that down into a few things. We have the base game for $40 over here. We have the 6 Sojourns gameplay collection for $75. That gives you a lot of the stuff. But if you are looking for the extra, specifically the metal coins, volcano expansion, economy expansion, and storage tuck boxes, that's going to be the $100 pledge over here. So that's the most premium, all the extras and all of that if you want that. Outside of that, we have the Sea Serpent set, Creature Caravans for $40. The Wanderer's pledge over here for $20. That, by the way, threw me for a loop because I saw that. I was like, that box art looks fantastic. Why? I want that. But if you do have the Kickstarter version, or the Game Found version, I should say, if you have the Game Found version of Creature Caravans from their last campaign, then you already have this, which is a shame because that box looks amazing. Then there's Rome for $30, as well as Creature Caravans Deluxe components for $25. Shipping is going to run you, let's see, shipping estimates over here. US dollar is going to be $15 for the basic and $23 for the deluxe, and that is basically 6 Sojourns, a 8-man empire on steroids with some degree of card variability from Creature Caravans and other games. And with that, we go to Propeller Islands. $19,000 raised, 234 backers, 7 days to go. Propeller Islands is coming to you from Stan Kodansky as the designer, Queen Games as the publisher, and the Micho as the artist. Many of these things were very probably relevant to you. Quickly evident to you. That is the artist in particular, because the Micho's art is incredibly distinctive, and this is bringing you some sort of, I don't fully know the game, I mean, I know the gameplay arc in general because I watched the stuff to become informed, but basically you're going to be rolling dice, assigning those dice to the center islands over here, and then players are going to have the opportunity to draft these dice, as well as just going to give them the opportunity to take islands, add them to their personal tableau, or discarding them for extra resources, and then the various, or alternatively, using the die to activate your own tableau, and then the die that's remaining is going to be used for all players to activate the tableau. So it's kind of a little bit of a puzzle of trying to build up your tableau, activate the right tiles, get the resources you need, and then plan around what things looks like is going to be left over, because you'll get a free bonus action from that. Playable in just over an hour from Stan Kodansky. It does lean, based on just seeing things that Stan's posted, it does lean to be a little on the lighter side compared to his other games, while no means being a gateway game, or like, well, maybe it's gateway friendly, but no means being too light of an experience, supposedly offering you a nice crunchy experience, which looks, I mean, it looks cool to me. I am intrigued by it, but I haven't played it yet either. So I just know that I like Stan, I like the Micho, and I generally like Queen's games, and this one seems intriguing to me. The copies over here, you have $45 for the base version of the game, as well as you have the Propeller Islands plus deluxe components for $65. That's going to give you chunky meeples, as well as other things. Where's the other things? It gives you the chunky meeples, gives you the various extra upgraded resources, and then you can additionally get an acrylic add-on for these various characters, which seems like it's just for player identification, meaning something that goes in front of you. I don't think it really does anything gameplay-wise. At least not that I saw. Then from there, as usual with Queen Games, you can get other games. You can get Kingdom Builder over here, fantastic game, highly recommend it. You could get Nova Roma, but that unfortunately is limited to non-US backers, because this particular version of Nova Roma is, the licensing-wise, they can't sell in the US, so non-US backers for this one. But if you have the opportunity to get it, Nova Roma is fantastic, also by Stan Kodansky, and this is the best version of it, which is from a component standpoint, it's the best version of it. So it is a shame if you can't get your hands on it. But that's that. That's basically that's Propeller Islands from Stan Kodansky, from Queen Games, and the Micho. Then we have Spark Riders 3000 Galactic Models, 1000 Galactic Modules. Did I say models? Modules. 1300 backers, a 138,000 euro raise, 8 days left to go. This is the expansion and reprint for Spark Riders 3000. Spark Riders 3000 was previously on crowdfunding, and basically it is a cooperative gameplay, app-driven experience. You're going to have an app that's going to drive the experience for you. It'll quite literally drive as you fly your ship through the galaxy, and then you have things like, other ships are pulling up to the side, and you have to attack them, and you have to move your characters around the ship and reposition your gunners, and the app is driving all of that stuff for you. So it's very much an interactive experience where you're doing everything you need on the board, you're managing your own ship and all that, but the surprises and the unexpected and the fire and the port and the choose your own adventure elements are all coming through on the app. So if you're someone who does not like app games ever, this is not a game for you. If you're someone who likes app games situationally, or just always, then this may well be a game for you. I will say the app implementation is fantastic. They really do. They've in general, Arcada Studio has done a bunch of app integrated things, and it shows as far as the knowledge and experience they have. And then the components in this game are absolutely top notch, both cute and fun, and amazing component quality left, right, and center. And then the game gives you a solid cooperative experience as well. I've played the base game. I have not played this newest version of it, but I played the base game way back when doing the crowdfunding phase, and I've also seen it played a few times as well. It's one of those experiences that's very pulls people in. Anyways, as far as the game itself, we have the base game over here. We have, which is going to be, we have the Commander Pledge for new players, and we have the Galactic Pledge for people who already own Spark Riders, because you have the base game, you have the prior expansion, and then you have the new expansion. Those are the things you can get your hands on over here. The Galactic Pledge for 40 euro over here is going to be the new expansion, and this is going to be giving you a bunch of modules, which means new characters, new character cards, poker chips, and then a whole bunch of various location tiles for your ship. We have the Arsenal with double turret slots for firepower. We have the hacking deck, the radar. We have the cafeteria, Prosperity module over here. Inferno, where you can boost the spark speed with extra thrusters. So all these little modules that get added to your ship in different ways, as well as more things. Construction cards, new turrets, cargo minis upgraded, more prosperity cards, standee tokens, a constructor and cars display tile, a premium insert for the various components. So there's all these new things being added. That's why it's called Galactic Modules, because it's a whole bunch of modular content you can add to the experience to mix up your experience. There's also various add-ons from the player mat, from the art book, from the individual player mats, things like that. And then of course we have the Commander Pledge, which gives you everything over here for 125 euro. This is bringing you absolutely everything for the game that is currently available. Well, I shouldn't say everything, because I don't think it has add-ons. It has the base game, the expansion, and then the previous expansion from the last campaign. Then from over there, after that, we have the Prosperity box over here. This is the was this the thing that's included? I think that's the thing that's included. Let me just scroll back up over here. I'm pretty sure that's the Prosperity box. Yeah, I think that's the Prosperity box. Just making sure I wasn't missing an extra thing over there. Anyways, that's as far as that goes. And then we have over here the pledge levels listed on. I apologize. The Commander Pledge is not all. No, the Commander Pledge is all in. The Commander Pledge is gameplay all in. There we go. Commander Pledge for 125 euro over here is the gameplay main things over here. We have the Galactic Ultimate Pledge, which is the new content over here, as well as various new add-ons. The base Galactic Pledge for 40 euro, and then the all-in pledge, which includes all those various add-ons, for 194 euro. Shipping, unfortunately, is not going to be cheap. Shipping is going to be running you in the USA 33 euro or 35 euro, which can be the price of a full game alone, which especially hurts if you're just trying to get that one expansion, because it really nearly doubles that price point, unfortunately. Speaking of doubling that price point, we're going to go ahead and move to Reichbusters. Reichbusters Reloaded from Monolith. 2,228 backers, 250,000 euro raised, 9 days left to go. Reichbusters Reloaded is a Monolith's new take on Reichbusters. I have done a review on it on the channel if you want to go ahead and check that out. Short version of things, as I like the original Reichbusters, but I thought it had a lot of missed marks, particularly in terms of the way the stealth was handled, and I like this new version of Reichbusters Reloaded significantly more, both in terms of the way they fix the stealth as well as the token management, but then also it is oh so satisfying to have your characters, your heroes, activate in simultaneous tandem back and forth. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. You pop that door open, I'll run in, guns blazing. That both thematically and mechanically, it is such a delightful experience to have your characters alternating actions. I find it so satisfying. Either way, I enjoy the game. I enjoyed this version of the game. It takes all the things I wanted to like about the original. For years now, I've said I wanted a new version of Reichbusters, and this one delivered on what I was hoping for. So, I'm happy about it. Anyways, Reichbusters Reloaded. This is going to be a stealth-based game that gives you the opportunity to engage in stealth for about as long as you want to, and then engage in run and gun as much as you want, each offering their own different challenges. Stealth-based challenges are offering you the limitation of how much you can actually do as far as the actions you can take, lest the guards discover you and then start turning on the alarms. Versus the second half, the run and gun phase, offers you the limitation of the fact that there's going to be far more enemies constantly spawning, and they offer different degrees of what type of challenge you're engaging with, but often you'll have to engage in a little bit of both. Just the question is how much stealth and how much run and gun. That's more up to you and your particular group's playstyles, or solo. You can play this game solo as well. Basically, this game is giving you the newest version of the game with all the updated everything, updated rules, updated components, all of that. You can jump in with the Reloaded Pledge for 159 euro, giving you all that stuff, or you can do the various upgrade kits. There's the Green Upgrade Project Build Veteran Kit for 49 euro, giving it to you. This is basically an upgrade kit if you have the all-in of the original, and then for the Blue Upgrade for 95 euro, this is giving you the extras. It gives you the upgrade kit and then a bunch of extras in case you just got like the base game and all that in the original campaign. Make sure to go through that to be fully aware as to what you're actually getting, but that's the general idea of these pledges. And this is the Reloaded Pledge, 159 euro straight, nothing else. There's no degrees of mixing it up. It's just get it all at once, call it a day. They are doing something different instead of stretch goals over here. They're basically giving you, for every 20,000 euro above the funding goal, they're giving you $1 to spend in Monolith's shop. It does not expire. I believe it's transferable. Redeemed online, can be distributed. I think I thought it was transferable. they are transferable over here. No date limit, will be used for any expenditure, which means if this project does hit like €700,000 or $700,000, whatever funding it's in, then it will get to the full max $30 per backer. It doesn't look like it will go that high, but you probably are walking away with $10 to $20 of additional expenditures in Monolith Shop, which is great if you are someone who's actually going to spend that money there. But it's transferable, so you can sell it or gift it as well. That's basically the idea as far as the pledges. I mentioned as I dove into this the shipping aspect. The shipping over here is going to run you, unfortunately, 49 to 60 euro on the Reloader pledge, 29 to 35 on the green upgrade, and 40 to 49 euro on the blue upgrade, which does make shipping very, very expensive. Boxes can be big, there's not a question about that, but at least relative to the price on the game, it does have the perception of being much more expensive, which I think is scaring people away to an extent, but also fairly, because that's a very high shipping price on the campaign. Outside of that, that's Reichbusters Reloaded. If you're interested in this, this is the best version of the game to get your hands on it, as well as, of course, upgrade kits for previous backers. Then we have Pirates of the High Teas. That's right, it's Pirates of the High Teas specifically, not the High Seas. 2,900 backers, $196,000 raised, 10 days to go. Pirates of the High Teas gives you a game of piracy and pastries. Basically, you're going to have your tea cards in this game. Tea cards are giving you the requirements of what recipes you're trying to get, what various ingredients or types you're trying to gather, and then you have to go ahead and get those various pairings to pair up nicely with your tea, and then serve them to the captain and get as many points as possible. That's the basic idea of the game. This is designed by Emily Vincent, who is also the designer of Knitting Circle from Flat Out Games, if you saw that campaign. This is her first campaign, it's her first creation, all that, and she basically has a few pledge levels. We have $39 for the Pirates of the High Teas base game. We have $79 for the Golden Edition Pirates of the High Teas, giving you the expansion of wooden tokens, Lux Neoprene mats, and all of that. And then the Admiral's Edition is all gone. This is the signed original prototype, so you have a few extras there, but that is unfortunately all gone, so you can't get your hands on that there. But that's basically the idea. You have your, you're going to have your, what's it called, Pirate Mischief meets Afternoon tea, create your perfect afternoon tea, smash dishes together. You have the various extra actions you can take, firing your cannon to clear the market, using your parrots or your monkeys to exchange things or steal things and things like that, as you try to gather cards and score points in this game of, well, set collection, recipes, all of that, Pirates of the High Teas. Oh, shipping. Shipping is going to run you, where's shipping? Estimated shipping over here. It's going to run you, where is it? Estimated. There we go. There we go. We have USA $15 for the game. Moving on, we have Computer Junkyard, the best computer game not on the computer. This is actually a very fascinating campaign because I'm impressed, and also this may or may not be for you, but also maybe it is. It's a weird one. 2,100 backers, $198,000 raised, 10 days to go. This is a very well done campaign relative to the fact that it doesn't seem like the people making this campaign are typical gamers. That's not meant to be gatekeeping. Whenever I have those like words of like typical gamers, I'm always mindful of like that. But like I just mean that it doesn't feel like they are people who play modern board games, and yet it feels like what they've made feels close enough to modern board games. And maybe they do. Maybe they do. I just, going through the campaign, it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like there's that experience you might expect. It doesn't feel like there's someone who played a bunch of polyomino games, and yet they've made a semi-polyomino game. So I'm very intrigued by this campaign, and I wonder if it's an enjoyable experience. It certainly looks like a great initiative for people who don't have that experience, or alternatively they do. I don't know. You'll see what I mean as you go through the campaign. Anyways, we have $40 for the base game over here, and then we have $75 for all the expansions, but this is basically a computer-themed game of building a computer. You're trying to assemble a computer to run an old software on it. That's kind of the general idea of it, but you have these pieces that are not really polyominoes, but they have various connections. Honestly, if anything, it feels a bit less like polyominoes and a bit more like Castles of Mad King Ludwig in terms of how things are trying to fit together. There are certain basic rules as far as what type of components can fit, then there's spatial puzzles as far as how to make them all fit, until you eventually the person who can go ahead and slot your software first, and you're the player who wins the game. And your software has particular requirements too. Your software needs certain things to be going on in the game in order to be actually place it down. So all of this feels very gamer adjacent, but it feels like on their end, and there's some market manipulation too. There's aspects of depriving the market of certain pieces makes those prices go up. So if you want that NVIDIA graphics card, you're going to be paying through the nose on eBay to get your hands in it. I don't think there's eBay in the game, but mechanically, thematically, the idea of prices of components going up, all of that checks out. So all in all, looks very cool. Looks very cool from again, especially if they don't have experience in the board game space, but still managed to deliver this overall. They did have one board game crowdfunding creator not on this page over here, and that is relevant to me. Basically, Tabletop Vibes kind of did a coverage of the game. That is relevant because like that's the kind of thing. Sometimes when I'm trying to figure out what's your experience in the space, I do look for that kind of thing, and they have this one creator over here, but not necessarily a ton more. That's basically what we got as far as this campaign over here. Shipping's going to run you $12 over here for the base game over here to get your hands on it, and that is Computer Junkyard. Moving on, we have what? We have 3 left over here. We have Qu'arz over here. Qu'arz is the Capture the Flag board game. I talked about this in my upcoming campaign. Well, I talked about a lot of these in upcoming campaigns. I don't know if I'm saying that. We have 420 backers, 62,000 euro raise, 11 days to go. Qu'arz is basically giving you a Capture the Flag kind of experience with strong asymmetric factions. 4 in the base game, if I'm not mistaken, 4 in the expansion, and you could just get the base game if you want, or you can get the expansion, the ultimate big box and all that. They also have a standee version as well if you just want to get the cheaper version over there. 54 euro for the light edition with standees, 69 euro for the special edition, and then there's also the full-on 129 euro big box expansion. All those various things, 4 new monster mobs. But overall, the miniatures look fun. The expansion thematically looks fun. All the various things looks very chaotic, looks very over the top. One of the things that I do like about the idea of the game is you have these cards you can use for their immediate action, or you can also slot them into your various units in order to upgrade them and power them up. So you always have that choice of the immediate gratification or the long-term benefit of making your characters more powerful as you go through this Capture the Flag experience. Overall, looks chaotic, looks fun, and pledge levels over here are going to run you, well, we talked about them a little bit already, but 54 euro for the light, is 69 for the miniature, and 129 euro for the all-in. Shipping over here is going to run you an additional 19 euro or 24 euro on top of all of that. From there, we have Lobotomy. Lobotomy 2, Dimensions of Madness. The 3rd time it's on crowdfunding, if I'm not mistaken. 1,700 backers, 18 days to go, $224,000 raised. Lobotomy 2 is effectively a dungeon crawler that is, you have a bunch of patients who are all crazy, and their imaginations and or thoughts and or books they've read or movies they've watched are all the things that are kind of driving them forward in this game. I've always liked the theme of this one because you basically have all these popular characters from popular culture, and almost the theme of it is these characters themselves are kind of imagining who they are and what's going on. Everything bad here is happening in their minds. You have anything from Harry Potter to, what do you have? What's this new, what do you have? We have all these different characters. I'm trying to figure out where was the box of stuff I saw, because they had the newest box. We have the new patients over here. I don't even know who these are. I mean, I know some of them. We have what's it called? This is the Freddy? Is that Freddy? I don't know half these people. I know who they are. I don't remember the names. I'm on the spot here. But there was something else I saw that I wanted to look at and talk about. Not these. Nope. Scrolling down, there's just so much content on the page. Oh, the red and yellow. That's what it was. The red and yellow. So we have Wolverine and Deadpool. Not actually Wolverine and Deadpool, but in their minds they might be. We have the Anchor variants over here. Lots of different things from popular fiction. So we have Tomb Raider. We have Alien, I assume. We have Resident Evil, if I'm not mistaken. Rick and Morty. And the other 2 I don't know offhand at a glance. But again, that's the kind of thing over here. You have these different characters with their popular culture degree of pull-in, because in this game, your characters are their own worst nightmares or imaginations as you go through this dungeon crawler experience. This is going to be the newest version of the game, so you have a few different options as far as what you get. You have the, why are there not pictures on the side? Did I just scroll too fast? Let's go to the pledges. So for the pledges over here, you have the admission pledge for 79 euro. That's going to give you the base game and the Criminally Insane. This is not any of the new content for the game. This is older stuff. We have the Sanity pledge for 109 euro. This gives you the Core Box, Inferno, and Criminally Insane. This is going to be you, I believe, no, that's not the new one. The new one's over here. Here we go, Quantum pledge, new stuff over here. We have the Madness pledge for 169 euro. Again, this is all previously existing content. Then we have the Quantum pledge for 59 euro. That's going to be giving you the Dimension of Madness and the Anchor variants. That's the new content over here. The Distortion pledge gives you the base game plus new content over here. And then we have the Vortex pledge and Abyss pledge, giving you just, again, more and more different amounts of content for the game. But effectively, it's kind of trying to break it up as, do you want all the tried and true experience, or do you want the new stuff as well? They also have an STL add-on where you can download STLs from the original Lobotomy. They no longer offer them to print because they don't have the molds for that. But if you want the STLs, that is an add-on you can get. And then shipping's going to run you for the US over here, whereas we have North America 22 to 28 for the admission, but make sure to check the individual breakdown because there's a whole lot of different options. And that brings us lastly to, is it lastly? Yes, lastly. Lastly, we have Ashes Ascendancy, the next era of Ashes. 1,500 backers, $265,000 raised, 25 days to go. This gives you the newest opportunity to get in on Ashes, Ashes Rise of the, what is it? Ashes Reborn, Ashes, there's 3 different versions of Ashes. We had Ashes, which I think is called Rise of something or other. Maybe, was it called Rise of the Phoenix Born? Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born, that sounds right in my head. Then we have Ashes Reborn, now we have Ashes Ascendancy. So this is the opportunity to get in on the newest version of Ashes, or the newest iteration of it, but also getting possibly a lot of previously existing content. In fact, so for some of the content, it will be the last time that it's physically produced, although not necessarily the last time you can get your hands in it, because of the fact that Plaid Hat now has a print-on-demand service for, as they expire content from being printed, you can now print it on demand automatically. So they have have that as an option for you in the future. But anyways, we have the starter set over here for $50. We have all the new stuff for $120. We have the new player plus, we're giving you a whole lot of dice sets and all that for the game. And then we have all the various content, giving you basically everything ever made for the game for $500 on supposedly $830 of retail value. I haven't broken down the price point and benefit and all of that, but it is going to be the last opportunity for a lot of the stuff. Keep in mind, a lot of the stuff is not new stuff. Don't get confused. It's basically taking the reborn stuff, the previously printed content, and then Ashes Ascendancy, the new core box. So you're getting a mix of old and new things that I believe are compatible as far as the content goes. And Ashes is basically a limited collectible card game. It's one of those games where you're not buying like booster packs, but you do have content packs that are put on a regular basis, and you can get specific content packs with the specific cards. You never have to have the gambling of what card am I going to get. You know exactly what you're getting, but yes, they are constantly expanding the system. And Ashes actually has a whole history. It's been out for like 10 years now, and when it first came out, it was generally well received enough, but then when they eventually had the reborn version of the game, well, they actually went through a whole different thing. They had Asmodee technically bought them at one point, and then Plaid Hat took control of the studio back at a different point, and then Ashes Reborn came out, because during that time Ashes was actually not being printed or done, and then they brought Ashes Reborn, and then they eventually introduced solo and cooperative elements to the game, which might be very relevant to many of you, because if you're like, I don't want a two-player collectible head-to-head game, semi-collectible head-to-head game, they actually introduced solo and cooperative modes as well that were very well received and really boosted the game's reception overall, because people who wanted that kind of experience, well, now you can go ahead and build your decks and fight bad things together, which is overall just, I mean, that's much more my jam. Generally, my current favorite collectible game is Marvel Champions, so yeah, I'm right there overall. That's basically all the stuff. As far as shipping over here, shipping's going to run you $10 for the starter set, $15 for all the new stuff, so giving you a good all-in price point on that. But that is basically everything you got, a little note on the print on demand, and that's all the stuff we got, and our final campaign of the day as well. Which means it's time for our Picks of the Week. Picks of the Week. Again, I have to figure out what to do with Picks of the Week, because I don't know if there is. You know what? I'm still going to do a value pick of the week, because I can still do a general perception of what I think makes the most sense to get overall value speaking wise, while not actually being 100% confident. So we're still going to do a value pick of the week, but first, let's go and do a personal interest pick of the week. Because personal, it's hard. There's so many good choices here. Okay, let's start with my personal. It's hard. Okay, personal interest pick of the week is going to be Rise of Mythos Cthulhu over here. I really enjoyed this game. I liked it a lot. The reason this beats out. Okay, so there's 3 that I'm interested in. I'm interested in 6 Sojourns over here, because I really like again, Creature Caravans, and I like 8-Man Empire. I think this could be a very solid, fast-playing game, so I'm very excited, but I haven't played it. Reichbusters beats that, because I've played Reichbusters, and I really like Reload. I think they did a great job with it. And Rise of Mythos Cthulhu beats that, because I think this is easier to table than Reichbusters. As much as I do enjoy Reichbusters, whenever you have big miniatures games, they're always a bit more work to pull out, and so I'm going to give Rise of Mythos Cthulhu my personal interest pick of the week. As far as what I think is most likely to hold the value, I will go with Reichbusters Reloaded over here. And it is tricky, there's no guarantees right now, but in general, these kinds of games do well, and yes, the shipping is expensive, but you are getting 2 big boxes, you're getting lots of content for the game. If you look at the all-in pricing, you don't focus on the distinction between shipping and the price of the game, I think that this is a good price point overall. It's just the fact that the shipping is such a huge portion that it throws things off, but I think this is a good game, it's a good version of a good game, and I think it's the one that is most likely to hold its value from the campaigns we've covered today. And with that, we are going to go to our upcoming campaigns. We have 2 over here. We have Dragonheart launching tomorrow or something like that, which is not great because I supposedly have content cover. I suppose you have a game coming to cover for it, and it hasn't shown up yet, but the campaign's launching very soon, so enjoy that. That's Dragons of Did I say Dragonheart? Did I really say Dragonheart? Oh my gosh, where's my head today? Dragons of Etchenstone from Chip Theory Games launching tomorrow, and then, sorry for that. And then we have Helldivers 2, the board game from Steamforge. This is going to be launching tomorrow as well. Say Hello to Democracy, April 8th, 2025. Basically, Helldivers, the video game, coming to you from Steamforge, launching very, very shortly. And with that, that is everything. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you found this video helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one. My friend was at the hospital last week. And he's in a car accident, and he mostly fine, but he did have like 3 fingers chopped off his hand, basically. It's not great. And so he was talking to the doctor, and he asked the doctor, he's like, well, will I be able to drive with this hand? And the doctor said, maybe, but I wouldn't count on it.